that A.B. Culverhouse and those charged with cooperating with Congress were cooperative. I've seen nothing to indicate they weren't. Secondly, I would offer full cooperation for any request made of this administration, and I just can't confirm the hypothesis of your question at all.
But you mean you would turn over any documents that they now want to see? Is that what you're saying?
Well, procedures were set up to determine what documents would be made available. Those procedures were agreed to by the Congress, and certainly I would see that if any documents are in control of this administration, relevant documents, that we would live assiduously by those guidelines. So but I have no reason to believe that the previous administration, the lawyers in it who worked closely with Congress, did not fulfill their obligation.
Well, Mr. President, were you an emissary to Honduras, as has been alleged?
I went to Honduras, sure. That was a matter of public record.
Quid pro quo deal?
I've told you that I'm not going to discuss that until the trial with North is over.
But the jury is being sequestered today,
well,
sir,
then I might have something to say on it when the trial is over. But I would simply ask you to understand that this is a request of the lawyers, and I'm not going to do something that inadvertently will, but to put it this way, my conscience is clear.
Well, there have been suggestions that on the documents that there might have been an oversight, either on the part of the FBI, the part of the White House staff. As far as you can tell, was there an oversight by any of those two bodies?
Yeah,
or was
not
it
that I know of,
that
Norm.
Congress is not pushing the right buttons to get the
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know. All I can just state is the confidence that I feel in Culverhouse and Company, and but we've received a letter down here, and I will take this opportunity to tell them we'll cooperate fully. But who controls the documents and all of that, you'll have to talk to the lawyers about that.
Mr. President,
I think they're in the control and custody of the archives. Archivist, I'm not sure.
When you say you'll cooperate fully, which I presume you mean Senator Smith and Inouye in their letter.
Sure. Everybody.
Does that mean they've asked you, I think, to launch an investigation to find out exactly what happened? Are you saying you will launch an investigation, or that you have?
I don't remember launching an investigation. Was that part of the request?
I think the language is an immediate, quote, immediate and thorough investigation, which essentially asks whether and why documents were not provided.
Well, I would refer them to the people that were in charge of the documentation, which would be Mr. Culverhouse and Company, in whom I have great confidence. But if there's anything we can do to encourage that, absolutely.
Mr. President, when you say your conscience is clear, do you mean that the interpretation that has been made of the documents in this trial, which I gather were made by Mr. North himself, are not entirely accurate?
I'm not discussing anything about my role in this, except to say that everything I've said I'll stand behind.
You won't even be, since they're sequestered,
I've just told the gentleman that I'm not going to go into that, so please don't ask me to do that, which I've just said I'm not going to do, because you're burning up time. The meter is running through the sand on you, and I am now filibustering, so you can't. No, you've already used up your time. Go ahead.
You know, William Bennett, your drug czar, has made a proposal that you treat them like machine guns, that they, which would mean people would register and they'd have their names on file and so forth. First off, what do you think of that idea? And secondly, when are you going to tell us your next step on that?
Well, we're having a meeting this afternoon with certain members of Congress on this. The standards that are set up in existing law about import are suitability for sporting purposes, and we're being very careful here, but we're going to make a determination using that as a standard. And Leslie, I can't say exactly when it'll be, but as I've expressed my concern about these weapons and their suitability, so stay tuned. I don't know exactly when it'll be, but there is a meeting here today that's just ongoing, and I have great confidence in Bill Bennett. We've talked to a wide array of people on this. We've gone to some of the think tanks, had a very intelligent, thoughtful paper from Ed Fulner's group over at Heritage. Very thoughtful. And so it'll be, our package will be, I guarantee it'll include more on law enforcement. And I'm sure that Bill Bennett will be totally on board, but we haven't gotten the final administration position yet.